Hello, Jay Williams here, and welcome to another video. Today I want to talk to you and do a bit of a review of one of probably the best books I've ever read. It's actually a book called The Five Love Languages by a guy called Gary Chapman. And in this book he talks about the number one reason that relationships actually break down. Are you ready for it? It's like drum roll, please. The number one reason for relationships breaking down is because people don't actually speak the primary love language of their partner, their son, their daughter, their mum, their dad, or vice versa. Now, it's important for us all as humans to actually feel loved. I personally can vouch for this, having gone through a process recently where I never felt worthy, and I spent 30 years trying to seek external validation from my dad because I didn't feel loved, and I've now realised that the reason I didn't feel loved is because he actually wasn't speaking my primary love language. Now you're probably wondering, like, what the hell is this primary love language thing? Um, so basically, in the book, Gary Chapman, he's a counsellor who's counselled thousands of couples, and it's a book geared towards people who are actually married. But me being in a relationship, not being married, I actually read it anyway because I figured that we could actually learn a lot, and I could actually apply it to my own relationships in my own life. And it's safe to say that I've taken huge value from it, and now clearly able to see how I can actually love Vicky better, how I can love my dad, my mum, my brothers better because I can speak their primary love language. And I've actually shared this book with them as well, and they're all starting to read it as well, which is awesome. Just means we'll all be speaking everybody's love language, and there will be loads of love buzzing around in our lives, and I strongly encourage you to read it as well, so you can actually get the same strong relationships and more happiness into your life. So, to clear up what the hell I'm talking about, basically in the book, Gary Chapman, this marriage counsellor, actually believes there are 5 love languages. Every single one of us has a primary love language, and the 5 love languages are, and I'll try and reel these off. First one, which is me, words of affirmation. So if I was to do something, let's just say that I cooked the dinner this evening, or I mowed the lawn, or I did the hoovering, and I did it as kind of a nice gesture. If I wasn't to receive a compliment or just a little thank you, a show of appreciation, and that continued over time, then the chances are I wouldn't feel loved. It's not like I'm buzzing around going, oh, come on, tell me you're grateful, tell me thank you. It's just over time, receiving that appreciation for what I'm actually doing for someone actually makes me feel loved. It makes me feel like I'm significant, I'm important. The second one is gifts. So if you're someone who enjoys gifts and you feel most love when you receive gifts, this doesn't have to be like a Ferrari or anything like that. It could be that you go to your local shop and you buy your partner a chocolate bar, and you said, hey, like, I know this is your favourite chocolate bar, and it's that feeling of knowing that when you weren't together, they were actually thinking about you. And this, like I said, applies to all of the relationships in your life. If you're thinking about your dad, if you see something and they are a gifts person, their primary love language is gifts, and you've got them a gift, then they're obviously more inclined to actually appreciate that as well. So it can be applied to your family and also your children as well. The third one, quality time. This is probably one of the biggest ones. You see a lot of people getting divorced because people don't give quality time. Some people who are acts of service, which is the next one, believe that yes, I should be providing for my family, I should be working hard to make the money, but actually then they miss out on giving their partner quality time. If their love language is quality time and you're working all the time, yes, you're providing for the family, but you're not giving them quality time, and so they don't feel loved, and normally as a result they go off and actually have an affair, because if they can't find it from you, they'll go and seek love elsewhere, which is normally a result of not feeling loved. People go off and have an affair. So third one, is quality time. The fourth one, as I just mentioned, is acts of service. Acts of service are people who are out there and they're doing the things for you. They're mowing the lawns, they're cooking the food, they're hoovering the house, they're taking the kids to school, and they're doing everything for you because that's people quite often love the way they want to be loved. So what they expect from you, if you do all the cooking and all the cleaning and you do all the hoovering and you do cutting the grass and everything, then that shows to them that you actually care, and that's what's important to them. Quite often you'll find this happens with my dad. He's very much a man of acts of service, so he'll be doing everything for you to actually try and help you because that's the way he wants to be loved. So acts of service is another one. So we have gifts, we have words of affirmation, we have quality time, we have acts of service, and then the final one which we have is physical touch. This is one that my girlfriend Vicky has, physical touch. So this is all about, having little cuddles, holding hands, maybe even touching someone on the face or just on the arm, giving them a little massage. This isn't all about the sexy time, isn't all about sex. You might think that your love language is physical touch because you're into sex, but the chances are it might be or it might not be. The thing that he says in the book is try and think about when you feel most loved. When someone does something for you, try and think about when you feel most loved. Yes, sex is a big part of any intimate relationship, but it might not be your primary love language if you're thinking about sex all the time. That's just a human instinct, I think. So the book is an incredible book. As I said, I've discovered that my dad's love language is acts of service. I've discovered that my mum's love language is quality time. That's probably why they ended up in a divorce. My girlfriend's is physical touch. I'm words of affirmation. I've discovered that my girlfriend's my brother's girlfriend's love language is gifts, and my brother is also words of affirmation. And they also talk about in the book, which I absolutely love, and people often talk about this a lot. They're like, oh, they're whinging about this, they're whinging about that. Now, Gary Chapman in the book talks about whinging as clues to their love language. If they're saying to you, if your partner's saying to you, oh, when are you going to put that shelf up? Or you never do the dishes for me, or you never do this, or you never hoover the house, the chances are their love language might actually be acts of service. So have a little think about that. Listen to your partner, listen to your family, your sons, your daughters, and your chances are you'll be able to get some clues. And when you start to love someone in their primary love language, the love bucket, as he calls it, is going to be oozing, and they're going to feel so loved by you that life is going to be brilliant. It's going to bring so much more happiness to their lives. I could talk about this all day because it's probably one of the best books I've ever read. He talks about how love is a choice. If you know your partner's love language, or your son or daughter's love language, or your mum or your dad's, and you choose to love them in the way they want to be loved, then that is a choice, and that is how you form strong relationships with the people in your life. He also mentions that there are books for people who are single. So he has 5 love languages for single people. He has 5 love languages for children. So if you have children, he also has a book for children. And the example which he gives, which I absolutely love, is that if a children's love language is physical touch, for example, now, as they're growing up, and they're quite young, you're giving them a kiss, you're giving them a little cuddle, you're sitting with them and embracing one another. Now, as they grow up and they get older and they're hanging around with their friends, maybe they don't want a kiss and a cuddle from their mum in front of their friends. But something like a little dig in the arm, or wrestling on the floor, or, just a little pat on the back, or some kind of physical touch, will actually make them feel love. It just means that they've actually matured and their love language has actually developed with their age. It doesn't mean that you need to stop doing it because they don't want it anymore. The way they feel loved is through physical touch. You just need to adjust your approach, which is another book which I'm going to read. I think I'll read The 5 Love Languages of Children, even though I haven't got kids, because I believe that if I read it, I can add lots of value to people who have kids, people in my lives, in my families, and hopefully offer some new perspective and insight on that. So if you haven't read it at all already, highly recommend you actually go and read it. It's rated 5-star on Amazon, has over 10,000 reviews on it, average score of like 5, and I'm not alone in obviously loving this book. So if you're interested in getting your hands on this book, what I'll do is I'll place a link below this video so you can go and buy it from Amazon.com. Or if you're an audio books person like me, I'll also put a link in the description box below so you can actually go and download it from Audible. Reasonably priced, great book, and I can't recommend it enough. So hopefully you've taken some value from this. Maybe your mind's starting to trigger a little think, and if you're interested in the book, like I said, go and click the link in the description box below and get yourself a copy. You will not regret it. So from me, have an amazing day, and I look forward to seeing you soon for another video. Bye for now.